Pimax has just announced a Meta Quest Pro killer. That is if you were thinking of buying Quest Pro for gaming. And I think this video might change your mind. During the Pimax Crystal launch event, we've learned more exciting details about their upcoming headset, Pimax Crystal, which is undoubtedly a gaming headset. And it supports both PC VR and standalone VR games. And I'm so excited to tell you everything that we've learned about it in this video, so let's get right into it. Pimax Crystal will be narrower than its 8KX predecessor. I reviewed it earlier this year and it is absolutely massive. So it's great to know that Crystal will be at least somewhat smaller and considerably lighter due to the materials used and some structural upgrades. It now features a black matte surface instead of the blue one on 8KX, but the overall design looks very traditional for Pimax. I personally like it. I think it looks super futuristic for a VR headset, but of course I don't expect it to be nearly as light as Quest Pro. But the huge advantage of Pimax Crystal over Quest Pro is hot swappable batteries. That's right, hot swappable batteries of 6000 mAh that will allow you to forget about the problem of low battery life, which is so incredible that I added this feature. It is definitely something we wanted from Quest Pro, but we will get it in Pimax. And in addition, it will bring some counterbalance to the back of the headset, which I assume is something that Pimax headsets desperately need. Quest Pro is well balanced, but it doesn't have swappable batteries, and the battery life is capped at about 2 to 2.5 hours. I wonder how much we'll get from Pimax. We also got a sneak peek of the new controllers, and at first I thought I was staring at the Quest 1 controllers. I mean, look at that. Don't they look identical? Or they pretty much look like Quest 2 controllers as well, just black. They showed them during the presentation for literally just 5 seconds. It's like they didn't want us to take a better look at them. And they didn't really tell us almost anything about them. All we know is that we are back to tracking rings, which will be hard to get used to again after these much better tracking controllers coming at Quest Pro that completely avoided the tracking ring because they're self-tracking. Of course, this is not the kind of technology we'll see in Pimax, and we can only hope that they will be at least decent. Let's get to the interesting and juicy part, the lenses. Pimax Crystal adopted optic glass-coated aspheric lenses instead of Fresnel lenses, which supposedly considerably reduces God rays and makes the image look much sharper. They showed us some footage of what looks like through the lens footage of Crystal compared to other headsets, and of course this clarity looks ridiculously good. They compared to their own predecessor Pimax 8KX, to Valve Index, and to HTC Vive. And now I understand that this is their presentation and they want to show the headset in as good of a light as they can, and they did make it look really good. As they claim, while in the headset you will not notice any pixels, and of course every headset they used in this comparison looked bleak compared to Crystal. But I did notice that Vario Aero was not included in this comparison. I wonder why. And neither was Quest Pro, but they did compare it to Quest 2. Comparing Pimax Crystal to Quest 2 is, let's say, odd. It's a slightly outdated comparison because visuals on Quest Pro look so much sharper and clearer, so it would be a lot more appropriate to compare Pimax Crystal to a headset like Quest Pro rather than a 2-year-old budget VR headset like Quest 2. But back to the lenses, another cool feature about the lenses on Pimax Crystal is that they're interchangeable. You can take one pair of lenses and swap them for another pair, and this means that this headset will have different pairs of lenses, each having different qualities. For example, a 35 pixel density or PPD set will feature an impressive 140-degree diagonal field of view or 125-degree horizontal FOV. But at 42 pixel density lens, this set will feature somewhat smaller FOV but unbelievable virtual clarity. And I think that this is a brilliant idea because this will please both the gamers who prefer a wide FOV over pixel density and the ones that prefer the other way around, better clarity so they can sacrifice FOV. And now they get a choice. With 42 pixel density, there is so much more that you'll be able to see in VR, even compared to 35, meaning that there will be more image before your eyes and it will be crystal clear, which is great for games like Microsoft Flight Simulator, where it is important to see the small text on the buttons and indicators on the control panels. So we'll see about all this clarity, but either way, this is super exciting. Also, these lenses will be attached magnetically, kind of like the prescription lenses I've been using gaming on Quest 2, but attaching them with screws will also be an option. Another feature on Pimax Crystal is eye tracking. They didn't talk about eye tracking too much for Pimax Crystal during their presentation, but they did mention that it's going to be used for the automatic IPD adjustment. Just like on Quest Pro, the cameras on Crystal will capture the movements of the pupils, but unlike on Quest Pro, where you need to physically move your lenses until the software tells you to stop, Crystal features a built-in stepper motor that will move the lenses automatically into their position, and you don't need to do anything. Another fun thing about this screen on Pimax Crystal is that it's going to feature local dimming technology, and this is something I talked about a lot with the Quest Pro review, because I think that this is an amazing tech and it's so great to see it in more headsets. Local dimming technology means that certain darker parts on the screen will be selectively dimmed, while the brighter parts will be more illuminated. That will create a stark contrast and deepest blacks. We have seen this on Quest Pro already, and it looks gorgeous even though it only works on games that have enabled this feature. We don't know if games on Pimax Crystal will come with this dimming technology already activated, or if every developer will need to activate it on their own. Either way, this is a great feature to level up VR visuals. So far, on paper, it kind of looks like Pimax Crystal is what we wanted Quest Pro to be. It's gaming first headset that has its core gaming base players in mind. Hot swappable batteries is a really cool feature, outstanding visuals, and both PC VR and standalone VR gaming capabilities, and let's talk more about that. PC VR will be allowed either via cable or wireless. Crystal comes with a DisplayPort 1.4a cable for streaming, which is about 5 meters long, but the headset also supports their new thin custom fiber optic cable, which I assume you will need to get separately if you wish. But what about wireless streaming? Crystal will support Wi-Fi, but they were really heavily promoting their WiGig module, which is a much faster solution, providing a higher resolution and faster refresh rates. It can transfer data over 60 GHz frequency with some anti-interference capabilities within 5 to 8 meters from the PC, with no frame drops and zero latency. At least this is what they claim. So I guess the success of WiGig will depend on how well and how seamlessly it works, and of course on its price. What I was very surprised to see is that Pimax is even selling their own customizable PC called Pimax Power Station that's basically a PC pre-configured to use SteamVR and the WiGig module with their headset, and I have no idea how much that will cost, but it seems like they're trying to make PC VR gaming more accessible so that people don't have to struggle and building their own PCs if they don't know how it's done. Not all people are that tech savvy, some just want to get the headset and they want to get a VR ready computer without any hassle. So in that way, they're offering a product that will work out of the box. Again, I think the biggest issue here will be the price, because I have no idea how much that will cost, and it can be a very big problem, but we're gonna have to wait and see. And as for standalone gaming, in case you didn't know, Pimax recently opened their own store, and if you browse through the games, you will find some familiar titles like Hitstream, Crazy Kung Fu, Space Slurpees, Arcade, Boombox, and others. Many of them seem like smaller App Lab games and side quest games that they managed to sway to come to their store. And of course here they're facing the same issue as Pico 4 competing with the huge store of Meta. Whether Pimax will succeed in this battle, only time will tell, but something tells me that the PC VR gaming is a much more exciting aspect of Pimax Crystal. Something else that was mentioned during the presentation was the replaceable faceplates. 2 faceplates were announced: the Lighthouse cover that will work with Lighthouse compatible devices and mixed reality cover. None of them are released yet, but the mixed reality one will be released second, which means that they are not trying to compete with the mixed reality capabilities of Quest Pro anytime soon. So in the end, Crystal has not been launched yet, but we do know the price already, and the price is $15.99, which is only $100 more than Quest Pro. I don't know if only is appropriate here because it's a lot of money, but if you were to spend this money on a VR headset, wouldn't you rather spend it on something that was designed for VR gaming, if gaming is what you're looking for in a VR headset? Quest Pro was very clearly designed designed to be a productivity first and mixed reality first headset. And Pimax Crystal, with all its visual updates, battery life, hot swappable batteries, FOVs, and all of that, just looks like a more attractive version on paper. Of course, we'll need to see how this headset is going to perform, but so far it looks very promising, and I want to believe that this is going to be the new go-to VR headset for VR gamers. And I wonder what you think about this headset and whether you think that this is something that you would like to get. Again, previous Pimax owners can get $100 discount on this headset. And I hope to see Pimax Crystal release sometime in the early 2023. I will keep you informed, and make sure to subscribe to Disco VR so that you don't miss the most interesting VR content. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and as always, happy gaming!